Hi, I'm Mark Monlux, and this is your Friday night movie recommendation. Now, normally I would recommend either a sci fi or a fantasy or a horror movie, particularly horror. But this time I'm going to recommend an epic drama. So, the year is 1946. The U.S. has just barely been out of World War II for a year. There was radio was still very big. So most people were listening to the radio. Some new shows that came on was The Fat Man, The Adventures of Sam Spade, Detective. I've listened to both of those shows. The Affairs of Anne Scotland. I would think that would be like a drama or a romance, but no, this is the first female detective depicted in a pardon me, not TV, but a radio show. Let's see, we also had Let's George Do It. I've listened to all those episodes. And another one called The Clock, which was sort of like a suspense anthology. Now, there were some, TV was starting to get out there. Keep in mind, a lot of these, when I use the word network, it means that they're now getting channels that are competing. Some channels until then would only do one thing. So when I say that there was a show out there called Cash and Carry, and that it was the first network game show, what I mean is until then, there was only one channel that had ever shown any type of game shows. So when I say network, it means that this is opened up to somebody else. There was also Fairway Hill was the first network soap opera. And there was, New York Times bestseller was The Hucksters by Frederick Wakeman. The number one song in the Billboard Top 100 was Prisoner of Love by Perry Como. The Oscars had celebrated for the best picture was The Lost Weekend, also won a bunch of other Oscars. Historical happenings, the first UN meeting, the Nuremberg verdicts were handed down, cultural things were happening, Tupperware, Tide was invented, the Avis rental car company came into being. This is all part of the post-war boom, which happened almost immediately. The bikini, atomic tests on the Bikini Atoll, all of these had great cultural changes that happened to us. The first commercial microwave oven, the Polaroid camera, all of these are brand new. Oh, and even though TV was relatively new, they had already come out with the TV remote, referred to as the Lazy Bones. It allowed you to change the channel and control the volume. Oh my God. Okay, not to say that every TV had this. For most of the years of my young life, the kids in the family were the remote. Okay, so the movie of 1946 that I want to really recommend to everyone is The Best Years of Our Lives. It was directed by William Wyler and starred Myrna Loy, Frederick March, Dana Andrews, and Harold Russell. Now, interesting thing about Harold Russell. Harold Russell, not going to come as any surprise, this was his first acting gig, but they wanted to have someone who was a double amputee. So they found this guy, and after the war, he didn't have any arms. Well, he was doing such a great performance in this film that the Academy, he got nominated for, a Best Supporting Actor. Well, they thought, okay, no one who's a one-time actor ever, first-time actor, uh, ever wins an Oscar. But we really want to show this guy to recognize him. So they also were going to present him with a special Oscar for uh, providing aid and comfort to disabled veterans. Well, guess what? The guy won Best Supporting Actor too. He's the only actor in history to have won 2 Oscars for the same role. Really, this is going to give you an idea of how good this film is. If a guy who's never acted before as a Best Supporting Actor is in this thing. The film is about these 3 guys who come from different walks of life and had different ranks in the military. And there's this fantastic scene where, as they're being discharged and they're going home, so they catch a ride on an old bomber that happens to be going to their town because military, military personnel can fly for free on military aircraft. You just have to bum a ride when it's available. That's still the case. I have friends who do this all the time. Anyway, so they go home. One guy is older and he's a banker. Another guy is younger. And then, of course, we have the third guy, a soldier type guy. He's a guy without any arms, and he's coming back home to his fiancée. The other 2 are going home to their wives, but this film dealt with issues that had never been discussed. And it's so freshly after the war, too. This was very big. PTSD, even though they didn't have word for it, that was going over. You could really see it in people's eyes. Drinking to compensate, being alienated, not knowing how to fit back into civilian life, not knowing whether or not you can trust your family with the wounds that you've incurred while you were, stuff that we still do movies about now. This movie went at it full throttle. Now, in 1946, the following year, it would win Best Pictures and a bunch of other. I think it won like 9 Oscars. So this is a big Oscar winner, and honest to God, if you haven't seen it, you really should watch it. They do this thing in it, a type of cinematography trick called deep focus. And I'm not going to spoil the scenes where they do this, but it made such an impact and how well it was used during this film that it would later be used in other films when trying to convey similar emotions across. Oh, I have watched this film so many times, I've lost count. And the actors and actresses, they just do a stand-up job in it. So give yourself a treat. Watch this classic Oscar winner, The Best Years of Our Lives from 1946. And boy, Tupperware has really come a long way. So if you like my movie recommendations, if you like these little snapshots of the past, please like and follow me. I really appreciate your support, and I look forward to making another recommendation for you. Thanks.